Welcome to the first week of Realmathon. I am so excited to read with everybody for the month. If you're not aware what Realmathon is, it's a competitive team-based readathon hosted by Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy. I am co-hosting Team Ravens along with Leandra, the TBR0. It's not too late to join, so make sure you watch the announcement video in the description and sign up. For the first week, I'm going to be doing a scavenger hunt, but I'm not going to know what the prompts are until I'm ready to read another book. For Realmathon, we have 2 team bonus prompts and a general bonus prompt for everybody. So I'm going to start with one of those, probably one of my team prompts. I'd love to be able to get one that fits all 3. So I'm going to check out some of the options that I have. And then after that, my team in Discord is going to give me prompts to pick my next book. So it will be something related to this one. So a book that has the same number of letters in the title or something that relates to what I just read. So I'd like to get up to the 3 bonus prompts if I can, because that's just extra points for my team. So I'm looking for a book that has an urban setting, a book from a list, and a book where a character has a secret. I do have some books due at the library very soon. I also have some book club books that I want to read this month. So for book clubs, I have A Killing Cold, Jurassic Park, Listen to Your Sister, and You Are Fatally Invited. I don't think that any of those have an urban setting. So these are some that I have due at the library soon. The Hamptons. Is that urban? I feel like if it's a place I'm aware of, it might be urban. It's a beach area, but I feel like that would count. And it's a popular vacation setting for like rich people, so this would count for urban. It literally says even good girls have secrets. So there's secrets in here. And I bet I could find this on a list. It's a new book, so I feel like it's on some anticipated release lists. So I will look for that. But I think we're going to start with The Note by Alifair Burke. Haven't read from this author before, but it's a short one, so it should be pretty easy to get through. It's under 300 pages, and I'm really excited to get through it so that I can get my first prompt from my team as well. Okay, I'm excited. This is a great one to start with. Hello. I have some updates for you. So it's Monday now. It's fine. I'm planning on doing a lot of reading the next couple days, but I didn't read very much this weekend. So for The Note, I got to chapter 8, which is about 50 pages in, and I'm gonna DNF this one. I'm just not invested in it. I don't really care. We're following these 3 women who are kind of friends. They used to be friends, but there's something they've bonded over as friends. Hey, Bowser. And they are going on this trip together because they're all going to be canceled in different scenarios. So I guess they're going to, I don't know, talk about that. And then maybe it's related to what they did in the past. I don't know. I just was not really interested in it. I kept putting it down and not picking it back up, and that means I'm not really enjoying it. So I am going to DNF this one. It doesn't count for any team points or anything because I only made it 15% into the book, but that is okay. So for the scavenger hunt, in my team's Discord chat, I put up this question explaining what is going on and what I'm looking for. So I got a bunch of prompts, but I decided to just kind of go with the first couple ones. The very first one was from Leandra, and she wanted it to be a book with the same amount of syllables, but this only has 2, and I didn't have any options in the things that I need to be reading soon, like things that are due at the library and different things like that. I went with the next 2, which happened to be related to the color of the cover. One of them was the same primary color. This one has a couple, and then the other one was to match the colors. So I was scrolling through the things that I had, new releases, library books. Oh, I need to stop saying the word that starts with L because Bowser knows what that is and thinks that that means we're gonna leave the house, go do that. And nobody. So I'm gonna go with that. So there's this like teal color, the gold, the blues, and black. And at first I was like, I don't have anything that fits with that. And then I realized I have the audiobook for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix checked out. I've been avoiding this one because it's a bit long, but I've really enjoyed all of his stuff that I've read. There's been like a range of 3 to 5 stars, and I haven't read Final Girl Support Group, but everything else I've enjoyed. So I will be reading this one. I think the colors match perfectly, so that's incredible. I'm actually 35% into this one, and I was really nervous because it's long, and I feel like I don't think horror books usually need to be that long. But I just got to chapter 15. Well, there's like a little interlude, I guess, right before it. And in this, we are following our main character, Neva, and she is taken to this home for young, usually teenage or young 20s unmarried pregnant women, and they are discarded pretty much. They're dropped off and they are used to work for this lady in her house. They don't require payment, but if you're not paying, then they can force you to like work in the kitchen, do laundry, like do all of these things. And it's partially to teach you like how to run a home and how to be a good wife and blah 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 blah. Like, it's very irritating to read. As somebody that does not have kids, I feel like growing up in a religious setting, a lot of the conversations are very they're very similar to things that I have heard growing up. I feel like the idea of teenage pregnancy and not being married and having a kid was just like the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you. It was like a very big fear of mine, to the point where like in my 20s, I was like, I can't have a teenage pregnancy. I don't like fear tactics. I don't know, just the way things were taught for some people, different things like that. It's just very relevant in this book, and it's a lot because I can relate to a lot of these things, not in the fact that I had a kid at any point, but it's just the expectations on women, on young girls, how the females in these situations are the ones that get punished and the men just get to keep living their lives, and who cares because they're not the ones that have to physically carry the baby. It's just a lot. It's very stressful. And then they are introduced to this character who is the librarian in this traveling, I guess, branch of a library that comes every 2 weeks, and she gives the one girl a book on witchcraft, like secretly, and they start to try to utilize this to help them. And I love the idea of this librarian and the power of books and knowledge that you can get from it being the thing that is saving these girls. Books are obviously so powerful and important in learning different things, teaching people things that they might not have access to in other capacities. So I'm really, really liking it. I didn't think I would, as somebody who is like terrified of the idea of being pregnant and giving birth and recovering from that. Like, I thought I was going to DNF this book. I thought that there was a high chance of that, but I'm surprisingly really enjoying it. There's just something about Grady Hendrix that I like, the conversations that he goes into in his books and the way he writes, the way he discusses things. I just think that his books are always very compelling for me, even if they are slower paced. There hasn't been too much witch stuff, but the stuff we're getting, I feel like it really works with this plot. It definitely feels more focused on what these girls are going through. A lot of them are like sophomore to seniors in high school, and they're not really supposed to discuss their past, anything that really defines them. They're all given these new names that are like flower related, because the gross lady that is taking care of them calls them her flower garden, and it's like really gross. But I'm overall really enjoying this, which surprising and not surprising, but I'm really flying through it way faster than I expected to because it's pretty long. So I'm hoping to finish it today. That would be great since I didn't read very much over the weekend. For Realmathon points, I would not say this is an urban setting, but there's definitely a secret. I'll have to look and see if it's on lists. I would bet it is. I bet it was on like anticipated horror book lists for the year, so I'll have to find one of those. And then obviously it'll fit for more prompts that we'll go over at the end, but I'm having a really good time. I feel like I'm threatening with the scissors. I have made it 66% into Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I am to chapter 27. This book is so long. I also am going to be opening my Starbright box. This is a new sci-fi sub box from Illumicrate. I get their horror box every night, and I don't talk about it a lot because I don't read a ton, but I really do love a lot of sci-fi, so I wanted to get this box. We'll see how it goes. If I'm liking it, then I'll keep it. If not, then I will skip it eventually. But Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. It's too long. That is the, I guess, main thing I have to say. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like we should be kind of wrapping it up now. The way that things are happening at this moment, I feel like it could have ended. Not like right here, but I feel like we don't need a whole 5.5 hours of the book still. So I have no idea where it's going to continue to go. I think now might be when it starts to lose me, because I don't know. I'm liking it. I'm liking the discussions in it. And I think that there's been a lot of care and attention going into this book, because obviously Grady Hendrix is like a 45-year-old man. He's not a pregnant teenager. But I have seen him twice talking about this book at different events. I feel like I can usually really trust him to do things in a way that like he's researched and is putting a lot of thought and care into. And I feel that with this book as well. I do think that it's dragging a little bit between the witchcraft scenarios. At the beginning, I was enjoying getting to know the characters and this house that they were living in, so it wasn't dragging for me. But then between the moments of witchcraft, I'm starting to feel like they're a little slow. So this is not going to be one that is 5 stars for me. The ones that I've given 5 stars, I knew by this point that I was going to give them 5 stars. This book is longer than I was expecting. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. I'm enjoying it. It'll probably be 4 stars for me. So for the Starbright box, the first pick is Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. I believe that is how you say it. So this is the original cover, which I do enjoy. So we have some character art on the front. I didn't know our main character used a wheelchair. So the back says, stories were the greatest currency to us, greater than power, greater than control. Stories were our food, nourishment, enrichment. To consume a story was to add to our code, deepen our minds. So here's the front, the spine, and the back. I do wish the edges were more defined. They're on the top and bottom as well. I feel like you can actually see them more on the top and bottom versus the end, but I like what they're doing with it. This is fun. So this has a book within this book. So the naked hardcover is actually the cover for that, which I think is always a really fun concept. And then we have character art inside. So here's the front, and then here is the back, which I believe is the story inside this. I think this one is also signed. Yes, so overall, I really like this. I haven't read from this author before, but I'm excited for this one. I think the concept is really cool. It has to do with AI and robots, and I tend to really enjoy stories that have conversations about AI. So I have been playing a lot of Phasmophobia the past couple days. Since the first day of the readathon, I've been playing a lot. I've put quite a few hours into the game, so I haven't read as much as I wanted to. The thing is, I am going to go play some more very soon, but I think I'm gonna be joining sprints at least for a little bit tonight, so I'm hoping to finish Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I think that's definitely doable because we're only playing Phasmophobia for like 2 hours. I'm so curious where Witchcraft for Wayward Girls is gonna go though, because like I truly have no idea, and I don't know if it needs more of the story, but we'll find out. I finished Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm just like prone to liking his stuff. I like the discussions he has. I like the way he writes things. I like the humor that he puts into things. I don't know how to explain it, but it just really works for me. I don't think this one was as campy feeling as some of his other stuff. I feel like he definitely has a range of like levels of that while still feeling like his books. I liked the end of this, but I do think it was too long. The choices that the characters made, I feel like all really made sense for them as people, and watching their bonds with each other really was something that I enjoyed seeing throughout the book. They were all going through so much, and just seeing them kind of figure themselves out and what they wanted out of life and trying to help each other was enjoyable for me to watch. Not my favorite from him, but still one I personally really liked. I do think it was too long. I don't think it needed to be almost 500 pages, but that's fine. So we are going to submit this for Realmathon points. Finally. I generally like to defend my team, so especially for the first one, I'm going to do that. So my allegiance lies with ravens. I read Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. This was, I think, 495 pages, which going over 500 doesn't change the bonus or anything. I'm going to increase my team's points and go down to the bottom. I would not say this is an urban setting. It does have a secret, and this is a book from a list. I don't think that any host has given this one 5 stars. I think I'm the only one that's read it. So higher rating than the last book I read. The note has 3.51 and this has 4.08. So yes, we get 5 points for that. This book does not have sibling characters. I wouldn't say it's a title. Now I'm gonna have to count. Witchcraft, Waywardgirls. What was it, even? No. Wouldn't say it's fast-paced. There's definitely morally gray characters in here. Favorite trope? Not really. No. It is new to my TBR. Okay, I think that's the only one that this fits, but I also got some bonus points. So we have 10, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 plus the page count. So 49 points for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, and submit. Now, onto the scavenger hunt. I put up another message saying, please help. And I got tons of responses again. So the first one that came in was a book from a new author you haven't read from before. And then the second one was a book shorter than your last read. So I have a book due super soon at the library. So I am going to be starting the business trip. I have not read from Jessie Garcia before. For some reason, I feel like, is this a debut? She has nonfiction books. This might be a debut fiction, but I have not read from this author either way, and it is definitely shorter than Witchcraft for Wayward Girls at like 340 pages. So I'm going to be starting this one. I'm going to go downstairs and we're going to work on a new puzzle and also do some Patreon sprints. I've started this one a little bit, but I'm not super far in, so I'm going to read some more and then we'll check in. The lighting down here is rough, but that's fine. Welcome to my basement. This is my puzzle place. I just put away this puzzle that I've been working on and I finished, and then I let it sit here for like 2 days to be like, oh, look at that, even though I didn't come and see it. And now I am sorting the edges from the middle pieces, and this is the puzzle that I'm going to be doing now. I have made it 35% into the business trip, which is to chapter 24. And in this, we are centering 2 characters that both are going out of town. I don't know if it's the same flight. I think it is. Yeah, they've boarded the same plane. And Stephanie is going on a business trip. She works at a news agency. She's going to this conference for it. And then the other one is Jasmine. She is fleeing an abusive relationship. At the very beginning, we are watching her learning about how she's been saving up money because the guy she is with is very abusive and like threatens her. So she is obviously trying to save herself, save her life probably. So the way that it's set up, we get Jasmine's perspective and Stephanie's perspective as the first few chapters, right, as the flight is happening and like leading up to that. So that's part 1, which is the first 42 pages. And then we move into after the flight, and we are following different people that are in their lives. So some of them are people that worked with them. We're following somebody that helped Jasmine get away from this relationship she was in. We are getting the perspective of the guy that is abusive, the one that's watching the one that went on the business trip's cat. And now people are trying to contact them, but they're not really giving them anything. So the lady that helped Jasmine get away, is trying to kind of get some information. And also the abusive guy is kind of starting to threaten her, so she's trying to get in contact with her just to kind of check in and everything. She loaned her $500 to help her get away, so she is kind of invested in this. So we're just seeing like the guy realize that Jasmine is not there anymore, and his reaction to that, him like being really angry and threatening Anna, the one that works with him. We're watching the guy that works with Stephanie, seeing his reaction to her not showing up to work, and people starting to realize that maybe something is going wrong. These two women don't have any sort of connection to each other. The synopsis says something that I am not going to share. At 35% in, we haven't learned that information yet. So I feel like that's kind of going to be a surprise in here. So kind of odd that it's in the synopsis. Both seem to be in danger in their new situations as well. I think we're getting too many perspectives. I do like that we started off getting Jasmine and Stephanie's perspectives, seeing their thoughts and feelings, getting to know them a little bit as characters so that we can recognize that something is wrong from their text messages. But I don't think I need quite so many perspectives, because we could be getting a lot of this information just from conversations that these characters would have with people that we are getting their perspectives from. I don't need to know all of it firsthand. So I think I would like it more if it was a little condensed, I guess. But I'm pretty invested in it. I don't think it's the best thing that I've ever read, but it's a really great puzzle book at the moment. So I'm gonna finish sorting these pieces and at least put the edges together. And I'm not in any rush, so hopefully I get another third of the book in while I'm doing that. I truly love puzzles. I go through phases of everything, so I'm having a lot of fun with my puzzle time. And then I won't do puzzles for like 3 years. I'm in the same spot. I do have a cat here. Bowser, my dog, is also here too. He wants to play. Hello, you're in the way. Neva loves to be included in puzzling. Anyway, okay, so I am pretty far into the business trip. I'm 78% in. I didn't really realize how much I had listened to. This is a pretty quick read. And before this, I was participating in Readathon, so I was reading a lot of Romantasy, which is a lot longer than this. The shortest thing that I read was still like 3 hours longer for the audiobook. So I'm loving the short reads. I am liking this. I think that the way that the story is told, like the formatting of it, is very interesting. I'm not sure if it is helping the book or not, but I don't know how. Nova, can you move? I don't know how it would have been done differently. So like, I'm not mad about it, but I just don't know how I am feeling. So there's been a couple different shifts in the story, and I can't really expand on that because I don't want to spoil anything. I think that it's all interesting enough. It is kind of unhinged. Like, this is not something that would happen in real life. Truly, there's no way. So you have to be like, oh yeah, quit eating plastic. So you have to be, no, not you either. The puzzle pieces came in this bag and both of the animals are like, this is mine. So many distractions. Okay. Why? I don't even know what I was talking about besides this book existing. Oh, you have to just accept that this is not something that would really happen or be able to be pulled off in this way in real life, but that's fine. We are now getting some more information about the characters that we were following at the beginning and that everybody in the last part was talking about, trying to figure out what happened to. So I don't know. I think I'm not as invested now because there was a time where we weren't with these characters, so I'm not as invested. I'm not really gonna know until we finish how I'm like truly feeling about it because of the way that it's set up in the format. So I'm gonna stay here and finish it. I will probably check in right here again because I'm working on my puzzle. I'm starting the red pieces. I have the edge done. But yeah, I'm enjoying the book, but it's definitely not going to be 5 stars. I don't know. I've seen a lot of like middle of the road opinions on this and I kind of get why, but at the same time it is entertaining. We have a couple things to chat about. Bowser is right here, so that's funny. I have some books to open. I have a pre-order. I don't understand why they make these boxes so that you can like pull this one part to open it and then cover it with the label. So first up, I have my pre-order of You Killed Me First by John Mars. I really love his sci-fi thriller blends, and I enjoyed his psychological thriller that came out last year, so I'm looking forward to this one. I also picked up 2 books from the library recently. So I got Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning and The Last Room on the Left by Leah Conan, so hoping to read these this month. And then I got a box from Book of the Month. Bazzy, you're just heavy breathing right near me. So I got their thriller for the month, Count My Lies by Sophie Stava. I don't remember what this is about. A nanny for a wealthy family. I also got The Wedding People, which was one of their free options for the book of the year. I've heard good things about it, and I sometimes do really enjoy contemporary fiction like this. So I wanted to give this one a go. Oh, this is interesting. So on the back, they have this shiny thing, and it says the Lolly finalist. And then here it says it's Book of the Year finalist. But they have like a little logo like the Oscars do and whatever. So you can kind of see that, which is fun. I didn't realize that at first. And then the other book I got also was free, and that's The Ministry of Time. I like sci-fi books, so I'm trying to explore a little bit of my taste in that. So those are the books that I got. I also have some secret Realmathon information for you. Let me double check because I don't want to give you false information. Okay, so the ravens have been attacked the most by the monarchs. So use that information however you feel, but that is what I've been told. Okay. Finally, the book. I did finish The Business Trip. I cannot decide if the way that this book was formatted worked for me or didn't. The way the story is told, the way that things unfold, I 100% understand why it was written this way, why this choice was made. But there's just something about it that I also don't know if it worked for me for being immersed in the story. I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars. I generally liked it. I was entertained. It was an easy read. It was a quick read. I had a fun time, but I never really felt just super invested in the story. I didn't love the perspectives from the men in here. There's 2 men that are like really awful, and just reading about them was not a fun time, but it was supposed to be like that, so it's not like it was specifically a bad thing. But it's just frustrating to read because the fact that there are men that exist like this, I hate it. I hate it. There were some fun reveals in here that I didn't really see coming, but I wish that that was done a little bit differently. There's some things in this book that I really want to talk about, but I can't because it spoils things. But I did enjoy seeing somebody being able to escape from a domestic violence situation. And the blame was never put on her as a character for not leaving sooner than she did or anything like that. So I enjoyed that. I appreciated it. I would read from Jessie Garcia in the future, and I would recommend this one. It just wasn't a complete favorite for me personally. So I had 1 DNF with the note, 4 stars for Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, which got me 49 points, and then 3.5 stars for The Business Trip. So we're gonna log the final points for Realmathon, and then that is going to be the end of this vlog. My allegiance lies with ravens. I read The Business Trip. This was 344 pages. Next. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. Also, it got really dark because whatever. I'm gonna increase for my team again. Go down to the bottom. I initially saw this on a list, which is how I found it. Characters definitely have secrets, and I would say this is an urban setting as well. It's set in somewhere along the coast in California, like at a convention center and Atlanta. Okay, no one has given this 5 stars. Okay, well, none of the hosts. This is not a higher rating than the last book. Okay, let me count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I keep getting odd numbers. I would say it's fast-paced, morally gray. There's a wealthy character. there's more than one POV, absolutely, and it is new to my TBR. So those are my 5 prompts. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then so 41 with the main prompts and then the 10 points for the bonus prompts. And then also 20 bonus points for the page count, because 201 to 400 is an extra 20 points. So I got 61 points. I think the math is close enough, but the spreadsheet does it, so it doesn't matter if I am right or not. So we are submitting. Thanks for hanging out with me for roughly the first week of Realmathon. I have been taken over by phasmophobia, yes, but I'm getting back into the swing of reading. Coming up on my channel, you will see me reading all the Goodreads horror. I will have a 48-hour vlog for the 48-hour readathon portion within this TBR jar, and then spin the TBR, which I use a spinner wheel to pick books from my shelves. I have the first episode of that linked in the description. If you want to be able to have a say in what I'm reading, I do show my physical TBR in that, and you can vote for up to 3 books you want me to read. The top 3 books will be put on a spinner wheel, so there's a higher chance I will read it in that video. If you've made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me, is there luggage or a zipper or something like travel related for the business trip? Everything for Realmathon is linked in the description. Absolutely not too late to join, so I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you very soon. Bye.